welcome back to One Hot Bite. Melissa here, where healthy doesn't have to be boring, and we are not doing anything boring today. This is so much fun. So as promised, we are gonna work with our sous vide machine one more time. And I'm gonna do an entire meal. So we are gonna do cranberry BBQ salmon, we're gonna do fresh asparagus, and we're also gonna do dessert. We're gonna do a wild berry cheesecake, all in the sous vide. So that's what's so neat about this. It's no mess, no added oils, because we're not cooking it traditionally in a pan. We're gonna broil the salmon at the end of the sous vide process to give it that little crisp top that everybody loves so much. This has been so much fun messing with this machine and seeing what all it can do. I really wanted to try every end of the spectrum to see, what we could make and how it turned out. And I have been pleasantly surprised by this cool device. So if you have one, you better crack it out and get it using. If you don't have one and you have the money to go out and get one, definitely do, because it's really a lot of fun. So before we get any further, I want to thank you so much for being here. I really appreciate all you guys so much and involved in my every Monday and Thursday while we make new stuff. So if you haven't already subscribed, please do so down below and smash that like button, because you're gonna like what you're gonna see here today. So for those of you that didn't already see my sous vide video where I did a long process, I did a 12-hour pork bite video with this. If you haven't already seen that, please check it out. I'll link it up here. And this one's gonna go much faster. Our salmon is like 25 minutes and our asparagus is like 8 minutes. So that's how fast this happens. Our cheesecake is an hour, and you can cook that while you're eating dinner. If you want it warm, you can cook it the day before and chill it. Either way, this really comes together really quick, and it's really hands off. And that's the thing I love about it. And I love my crock pot for that same reason, is you can set it, forget it, come back, really enjoy your meal. So this is super fun. Take a seat, hang out with me, let's get this cooking. If you have any questions along the way about the sous vide machine or what I'm doing here, please comment down below and I will get back at you and we will go over any questions. But this has been a super fun device that I've been working with, and my brother actually let me borrow this. So let's get cooking. We're gonna get our pot filled with water, get our sous vide circulating and warming that water, and we're gonna get everything cooking. So this is our marinade and our basting sauce. So we have cranberry sauce, barbecue sauce. We're gonna add a little olive oil on this. You can use pomegranate juice or cranberry juice, a little fresh lime juice, and a little bit of salt. We're gonna mix this together really good, and then we're gonna reserve part of it for our basting when we broil our salmon at the very end. So you can put aside about 1/4 cup, and then the rest we're gonna stick our salmon in, and we want to marinate this for about an hour. If you don't get to it in an hour, you'll be fine. Gonna nestle these guys in here, cover them, and put them in the refrigerator. So once they are ready, I'm gonna get another Ziploc bag. So this is how we're gonna sous vide this. If you have the right kind of bags, you can use those. If not, a Ziploc bag will totally work. So I'm gonna take one of these fillets out of, I'm just gonna sous vide one of these today. So one of the fillets, I'm gonna take him out. We're gonna nestle him nice and tight in a corner of this bag and press out as much air as we can. You can use the water displacement method as well, or you can just get as much air out just like that. So he's nice and sucked in. We're gonna set our sous vide for 140 degrees. And as soon as that's circulating and at that temperature, 25 minutes in the water, we're gonna chop up some fresh cilantro to go over the top as garnish. As this comes out, you can see the color has changed. It's fully cooked all the way through. I have a baking sheet I've set aside that I'm gonna go ahead and carefully place this guy on there. He's fully cooked at this point. Now I'm gonna quickly baste it with this wonderful sauce. And we're gonna broil it for about 1 to 2 minutes. This is beautiful, garnished with some of that fresh cilantro. And look at that, isn't that amazing? Now on to our asparagus. We're gonna reset our sous vide because it needs to be a higher temperature than what we just had. So again, I can use the same water and everything. I'm gonna reset this up to 180 degrees for the asparagus. So for fresh asparagus, I like to just bend it on each end until it cracks, and basically that end piece is what really isn't fresh anymore. So you can just see that I grab it. This is a great, beautiful stalk. Give it a nice bend. You can cut these as well, but I really just like this method. Again, my wonderful plastic bag and glass method. I'm going to add some pepper and some olive oil to this. Cracking up that pepper, a little bit of olive oil. I'm going to pull this out of the glass, kind of mush it together, and we're going to add our asparagus to this. And again, you can use the water displacement method, the vacuum method, whatever works. And we're going to just tighten this in. I get it all mushed together. I'm going to get all the air out and make it as vacuum packed as possible. And our water is now at the 180 degrees that we needed. Now when you do vegetables, because they have a different buoyancy than meat, it's going to want to float. So we're going to drop it down in here in our nice warm water, and be careful not to burn yourself. Again, it is warm, 180 degrees. A nice heavy spoon on top of this, and it should sink it to the bottom. We only did 7 minutes on this, so depending on the size of your asparagus, will be depending on the amount of minutes. You can do it anywhere from 6 to 10 minutes. And look at, they're beautiful, they're green. We're going to zest some of this lemon over the top. I'm also going to cut this lemon and take a little bit, spritz some of that fresh lemon juice over the top. Ooh, looks so good. A little dash of salt. Toss it together, and our asparagus is done as well. And look at that. It's firm but loose and beautiful. Looks great. Now on to dessert, our cheesecake. I have one 8-ounce block of a 1/3 fat-free cream cheese. It's mostly softened, a 1/3 of a cup of sugar, and we're gonna try and not make too big of a mess here, and mix this all together and just get it as smooth as we can. We're gonna add our eggs, and it'll mix a lot better once we start adding our eggs to this. We're gonna only need 2 eggs, so add 1, give it a little spritz, fully incorporate that 1 egg before we add our next. Our goal is to get this as creamy as possible. So that one looks fully mixed. Let's go ahead and get our second egg. Almost got some shell in that one, but we saved it. And here goes our second egg. A nice good spritz till it's nice and creamy. You're going to want to stop for a second and scrape down the sides. We don't want any of those cream cheese chunks to remain. So we're going to go ahead and do that. We're going to add a 1/3 of a cup of low-fat buttermilk here. Mix that together again. It smells so good. We're going to add a little bit of vanilla, about a teaspoon, a dash of salt as well to bring those flavors in. Beautiful. And we're going to give this one last little spritz. So the recipe I made here, I actually used 4-ounce jars, little baby 4-ounce jars. You're going to fill these up to about 1 inch remaining on the top. If you want to use 8-ounce jars, which you're more than welcome to do, that would be 6 servings, and you'll want to double this recipe. So just fill these up. And as soon as we have them all topped off, we're going to tighten our lids tight, but not over tight, but we want to make sure nothing leaks out. We're going to lower these down into our temperature of 176 degrees, so just a little bit lower than we did our asparagus. We can drop all those cans down there. Again, the water's warm, so don't use your hands. I'm using some nice rubber tipped tongs for this, so I have a good grip on those as well. We're going to leave these in here. Because of the 4-ounce, it was just 1 hour. If you use 8-ounce, it'd be 1.5 hours. Let's make our berries. I have 1 cup of frozen mixed berries. You can use fresh. About a tablespoon of sugar, a tablespoon of lemon juice. We just want to get this warm enough that the sugar dissolves, about 2 to 3 minutes. You don't want it to turn into jam, so let's go ahead and pull that now. Look at these come out. I chilled these overnight. You can chill them overnight or you can eat them warm. They're great either way. Take about 2 tablespoons of our wonderful berry mix that's nice and sweet on top. And then I just crushed up actually some graham crackers. So that's gonna make the flavor of the crust come out. I don't know about you guys, but I'm thinking this is one hot bite. Well, we have one hot bite, one cold bite, but so super, super easy in the sous vide. Let's give everything a taste. So let's actually try an asparagus first, because I don't know, I think having your veggies done just right is right. You guys can see how they're really nice and flexible. Have that little bit of crunch to them. You can definitely cook these longer if that's what you're looking for. Those are perfect though. I like it a little bit al dente. Okay, let's try our salmon. It is cooked perfectly for me. This is exactly how I love my salmon. So it is perfect. It's juicy. My puppy thinks it sounds good. Has the sweet from the cranberry, that little bit of barbecue sauce. Everything is cooked absolutely amazing. I'm so impressed. Okay, let's try the cheesecake. We're gonna get a little bit of everything. I'm gonna show you the texture here. Ooh, looks so good. Wow, that's really good. Really creamy. The berries come through. This is delicious. I'm gonna say the sous vide is a really neat machine. And again, if you wanna grab one or you have one, definitely use it, mess around with it. I have been so impressed with how well everything has turned out. But I love you guys. Thank you so much for being here. I'm coming at you next week. We're gonna make a really healthy carrot cake, and we're also gonna do a little bit more baking. I'm gonna make some incredible rolls that you're gonna want to have on hand anytime for breakfast, lunch, or dinner. So I love you guys, and I will see you next week.